Next In.
Welcome to Next In, our podcast. It's all things tech, recruiting, maybe a little bit of other just fun stuff about life. I'm joined with my co-host here, Shane Shaun, founder of Next Level Recruiting here in Nashville, Tennessee. Today is Friday, July 9th. It is beautiful. It's 87 degrees and sunny here in Nashville. No rain, which I'm loving. So it's
maybe a tornado, maybe some
well,
floods. I don't know,
you
man.
might get it all in the same day. So if you're thinking of joining the hundreds of tech people coming to the city basically every day, we are ready to welcome you, and I'm sure the sunshine will come when you get here. So Shane, we just passed the 4th of July. That was this past Sunday. How was your Independence Day?
Dude, it was awesome. I ended up getting into downtown Nashville. Gosh, it might have been like 1 p.m. because I decided to park my car, early, so I didn't have to deal with the hustle and bustle of traffic getting out of downtown Nashville, which honestly was not nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be. We had a record-breaking 350,000 people that ended up going downtown to see Brad Paisley's concert and the fireworks show, and it was absolutely phenomenal. It was awesome. I would say though, but like by 9:30, I think I had like at least 1,000 people sweat on my back because of being, 350,000 people were downtown, and it was unbelievable. It was so much fun. It was probably one of the best 4th of Julys that I've had. It was free. I got to see Brad Paisley for free. He gave out a guitar to like this little girl, and she was like, "Oh my goodness!" It was awesome. It was probably one of my favorites. Seattle, that would have easily cost me like $50 just to like spectate and complain. It would have been a $50 complain fee. I don't know. So like,
maybe 20 years from now, Nashville will be up to that level, but right now, no. So you were one of the ones who ventured into and onto Broadway in Nashville. I'm married. I got 5 little kids, so we did not. I will say we're down in Williamson County. Didn't need to leave my house. We sat in our driveway and watched fireworks all around us. Across the street, our next door neighbor. I mean, everyone lighting off fireworks. Didn't need to leave. My dog was a little skittish when she came outside. She didn't mind the noise, but she was definitely trying to figure out what was going on because it was not normal. But otherwise, for my kids, wife, everyone, we just were able to sit there and watch fireworks and enjoy the beautiful night. I mean, it was like 80 degrees and
it was awesome. My dog's the opposite. So Riku Inu, my puppy child, because I don't actually have children. His birthday was on July 3rd, so he just turned 3 years old, and fireworks excite him. He wants to go outside and watch the fireworks. So he's a little bit of an anomaly for a dog because he's like, fireworks? Yes, let's get outside and watch it. It's kind of like a squirrel. Like he just wants to go squirrel hunting. Like for him, he's just like, fireworks, let's go. It's pretty funny. It's actually awesome.
So that'll transition us. Actually, one of the things I wanted to talk about was Founders Live. The last time we were on here, we had talked about Founders Live, which is a community or group we launched here in Nashville on June 24th. And if I'm being honest, didn't really know how it was going to go. We hadn't done it yet. And it was awesome. It was fantastic. The reason why there's a connection to dogs and fireworks, one of the founders who didn't present, but I have talked to, and she actually was there, runs a company called Ponix, which does noise canceling headphones for dogs. And she said she was like, it's like Christmas for her is July 4th. That's when everyone is purchasing from her and so on. I want to give a quick update. So the Founders Live event was amazing, and I will kind of bounce some things off of Shane and kind of get his quick. I was emceeing it, so I wasn't really in the audience. But we had officially 4 presenters. Our 5th presenter had an emergency the morning of, couldn't get there. So we had 4 presenters, and then we did have a 5th one kind of on this impromptu. But we had Meal Pops and Brandon Essie. And so if anyone is interested in any of these companies, go check them out on LinkedIn or go find their website or whatever. Meal Pop, how would you describe Meal Pops to the listeners?
Yeah, so from my understanding, Meal Pops is a loyalty service at the end of the day. They are real life coupons where if you want to go, shameless plug, like hoping they get this deal during Founders Live, he ended up getting a meal, like a meeting set with Hardee's and Carl's Jr. So hopefully, I'm going to wave the flag and say eventually you can use Meal Pops to go to Hardee's Jr., have tangible coupon dollars that will save you money when you go buy your California style burger with some avocado on it, since all the Californians have started moving out here. So yeah, I would say
Absolutely.
it's real life tangible dollars. It's a loyalty subscription kind of thing to help consumers, get discounts by going to, local restaurants and stuff.
Yeah, and so they also do a lot of, it's like an employee benefit. So you're a big hospital system that has 2,000 employees here in Nashville. If you pay, Meal Pops, you can get a subscription for every person there and the 20 restaurants nearby that they can go to. And every month they get $5 to whether it's Hardee's or the nearby McDonald's or Subculture or whatever
Or some
places nearby.
fancy restaurant. Yeah, there are fancy
Yeah.
restaurants that subscribe as well.
And these aren't $5 off a $10 thing. It's just $5. It's like a gift card, not so much a coupon. So that was one of our presenters, Versatour and Debbie Garcia. So Shane, tell the audience a little bit about Versatour.
Yeah, so anybody that's listening that's an event planner, y'all are frustrated. She's solving your problems. Like at the end of the day, that's what I'm going to say is like she is like helping event planners, cut through the barrier to be more transparent about event spaces, what they're purchasing, why they're purchasing it, being able to have like visibility into what you're going to rent out. Like if you're trying to plan something across seas, that doesn't mean you're going to fly there, go look at every single place that you decide you want to plan an event at and then purchase. No, usually you're going to be virtually deciding what you want to do. And this kind of helps people have a virtual guided experience and then try to reduce some of the redundancies that event planners are experiencing to make their life easier.
Yeah, with video walkthroughs of all the spaces and so on. Great. And then there was Fidelis Ideas with their product Lena, and Lena essentially came from John Capley. He's the founder of it, and the idea was to more or less gamify a city, sort of like how Disney World has gamified Disney, right? And you get all of these ideas as where to eat, how to go, map out now you can do it on a geographic, a citywide. Launched here in Nashville and a couple other cities in the Southeast is kind of in their roadmap. That was a really exciting one.
And then they use personal experiences. So they go, okay, well, let's gamify your experience, but more than that, are you a single person? And are you single and ready to mingle? Are you a family and you want something that's going to be more family friendly? Are you a couple that, has certain things? So then they break it down into, I think it's like 3 or 4, major personas of like different types of people that are going to eventually go on an expedition. And so it caters towards that experience.
And then there was Itty Ditty and Emily Satterley. What did you get out of Itty Ditty?
So what I got at Itty Ditty, and I was stoked about it, is one of the random folks who's actually friends with our own Maddie Cooper. She was actually a user of Itty Ditty, and she was a producer that put a bid in for a song. And so essentially what it is you have songwriters that are looking to be connected with producers to be able to start selling their music and to produce their music. And we actually had a producer in the crowd that got to watch the pitch, and you can think of it as a kind of like the Upwork world for music writing and producers. And eventually, who knows where that's going to go? I mean, I don't know how deep we got into it, but maybe it'll eventually help people find guitarists and singers and other people that are in the music industry to like kind of connect the dots and allow people to connect virtually rather than needing to like randomly figure out, who do they know that can produce music on their own for all the streets. They don't have to do that. You can all do it in a virtual environment nowadays. And so it's I see it being like a marketplace in the future to help musicians get connected.
Yeah, so those were our 4 companies and presenters, and we had over 100 people in the audience. It was awesome. I got to give a shout out to Spaces. Spaces had sponsored the event and given us their free outdoor terrace, 12th floor terrace that held 350, 400 people, overlooking Nissan Stadium and the river in Nashville. I mean, it was the most gorgeous venue. We did have a perfect Nashville evening. It was 80 degrees. It was a little hot, but it was gorgeous. The sun had gone down. I mean, it was awesome. Event was amazing, and space is a big part of that. Really appreciate their sponsorship. So we're open to other sponsors. We're speaking right now with some law firms and things like that who want to sponsor our future events. But it was
Which,
not. Go on.
yeah, and I was gonna say, like, it was awesome. And then if I had to take, like, what I think was really cool about the event is, like, not only did we have, like, these, 4 founders. Well, we technically had one. We had another one that came in and voluntarily pitched right out of the audience, which was awesome. Which we'll save for next time because she's gonna pitch again. But we had, like, such an awesome turnout of people in the crowd, as well as people that were presenting. We had people that were from VC companies that are getting connected with some of the founders and asking us to give them the heads up on, like, future founders that are going to be there. So we've got VCs that are going to be coming to the next one on September 9th. We've got law firms. We've got companies that want to coach people on, like, how to, like, Taylor was talking about a law firm that wants to start coaching these startups on how to spread out their equity, like how to set up their startup from the beginning, mergers and acquisitions for now and in the future. And there's going to be some really cool stuff coming out of this with the people that were in the audience. We got biz dev meetings set for half of the people that were there, and I thought that was pretty incredible.
Yeah, and there were, one thing I want to encourage is there were people who came, like you said, happened to be a music producer, happened to be a friend, but who was there and was able to go, holy cow, I use that service. So it's not just, hey, if you're a VC, come, or hey, if you're a founder, come. There were people who were there going, hey, I'd love to intern with one of these companies. So the nice thing is, like, we want to open this up. It's free to come to these things. At least sometimes we might have like a $10 donation or something like that. But for now, it's free to come to these things. We want anyone who wants to be a part of that startup ecosystem, anywhere from the money side of it, the founder side of it, or even the employee or fan side of it. So.
And we're in Spaces, and Spaces is dope, and they validate the parking that's downtown. So it's in the Bank of America building, and they validate parking, and they've donated parking as well, and that was pretty incredible. So.
Yeah, so you already kind of gave our teaser for September 9th. Everyone throw it on your calendar. September 9th, we're going to have our next event. We will have a company called Routine, ROOTINE.co. And Rachel will be giving her presentation. We didn't allow her to be part of the voting, but she did an impromptu pitch. She's going to do a real pitch for real on September 9th. Fantastic company, already raised a good amount of money and off and running. It's really cool. Online vitamin company, very personalized to every person, that goes to their product line. So that is, again, September 9th, likely to be in Spaces again. We will get that all secured. We will be posting on LinkedIn. So this will be my shameless plug. Go to either my LinkedIn or Shane's or both of us or Next Level's LinkedIn. Connect with us, follow us. You'll see we'll post a lot of stuff on our Founders Live, which is going to be on September 9th. Next big update. This will be the last time I will be in what's called the Gathering Place. And Shane will be in his room because we are in 2.5 hours. We are going to be moving. So we are going to be officially opening our office in Maryland Farms, which is in North Brentwood, just south of Nashville, like right on the Nashville-Brentwood border, essentially. Maryland Farms, 5200 Maryland Way. I will say, if anyone watches Sebastian Maniscalco, he's a comedian, he's hilarious. He does this great bit of, like, back in like the 80s, how everyone was like loved when someone would ring your doorbell and like the whole family would come greet him. And nowadays, if someone rings the doorbell, everyone like hides and like turns off all the lights and closes the drapes and everything. We want walk-ins. We want people to come by, come greet us, say hi. So if you're in the Nashville area, you want to stumble into Maryland Farms, grab lunch over at, Chopped or the Greek Cafe, which is right next door to us, or Crumble Cookie or whatever, and just stop in and say hi and see what we're up to. Whether you're a tech company, you want to get into recruiting, you're curious what we do, please stop in. We love, love, love people who pop over. So yeah, so our new office will be opening up 52 Maryland Way, Suite 106. Shane, are you excited?
I'm stoked. I'm stoked. I was kind of hoping we just started 2 new employees on Wednesday. I was hoping it wasn't going to start off in my basement, but it started off in my basement, which is fine. They get to experience the first 3 days where they get to be a part of our in Shane's basement photo while we've been trying to get an office during the middle of COVID. But we're super stoked to get in. I'm super excited to get our momentum going for internal hiring because we're looking at hiring a lot of entry level recruiting and sourcing talent that I'm going to be teaching and coaching over the next year or two to up level them into senior level talent. And by doing so, we're bringing a lot of people on site and in office. So really excited to onboard some new employees internally at Next Level.
Yeah, yeah, and thanks to Avis and Young who are getting us that space. The space is beautiful. They've done a wonderful job. We've had to wait for it to get built and everything else, and it's awesome. Really, really nice. Fantastic paint job. So we appreciate that. So on to the one topic I wanted to get into with you here, Shane. I know a lot of people watch this, again, about 60 to 80 million viewers each episode, and I think most of them will come in going, hey, you guys are recruiting, so you're not just one singular company. You guys recruit for 60 to 80 companies. You're not just in one location, although you are in Nashville. You got people in the Bay Area, New York, Nashville, Miami, all over the place. What are you seeing? What are the real trends? Because you see it on the news quite a bit. People are struggling to hire, or because of unemployment benefits, people don't want to go back to work, and everyone has their theories based on what they maybe see on TV or what they experience, but you probably get a better chance to see things.
Yeah, it's been a big conversation, and we've been signing a lot of hyper growth startups because predominantly a lot of our clients are A series, B series, C series. We've signed some D series. We've got a few publicly traded companies, but where we really thrive is in that hyper growth. We just raised 50 million. We just raised 100 million. We just raised 250 million, and we're really helping companies figure out their scaling problems and helping them recruit. Now, a lot of them happen to be in Seattle and San Francisco and New York and our major hubs where we've got a lot of investment dollars that are going into them. And what we're finding is that we start to enter the wormhole of what is classified as San Francisco Bay Area, where I'll have a client that'll say hey, Shane, what do you think is the average salary for a senior front end developer? And my easiest answer is just dude, I don't even want to start because it could be 100 grand plus some points, or it could be $1 million and plus some points, or I don't know, maybe it's 4% equity. We had an offer go out to somebody the other day. It was 275,000 plus 30% bonus plus, it was a half a point of equity. And he's not interested. Just give me 4 points and I'm good and I'll sign. And that was just too much. So it's it's either A, people asking for too much ownership in an organization, or B, I want $1 million and I'm, I just graduated 2 years ago. And what we're starting to realize is that there's this pretty big, massive exodus of talent coming out of the Bay, coming out of Seattle. And to be honest with you, it's raising the prices across the country, which is pretty phenomenal. And to be honest with you, it's pretty cool. I'm from Lewiston, Idaho, and there wasn't ever a lot of money in Lewiston, Idaho, but money is coming there. Money is going everywhere, and being able to create these remote environments are giving people way more options. So when you have this remote world, the competition and talent is starting to go up, and it's going up for natural reasons. And that's, they're no longer bottlenecked to your office space. They're no longer bottlenecked to, I need to be within this 3-mile radius, and that's where I'm willing to commute to. And the commute now is from your bed to maybe still your bed. I don't know.
But what about the companies that, and there's still a lot of them, and I think you're going to see a migration back to people who don't want remote. They want the office. They want the culture. They want the environment. And again, I think in some organizations that never left. In the software world, where someone's doing coding or whatever, and it really is a do it on your own kind of work, or outside salespeople, those are organizations that were remote before the pandemic. And I think you're going to see those maybe stay remote. There's a lot of companies that want people in office in Nashville or Seattle or Miami or wherever it is. So what are you seeing, around that with, all right, so I want to pay San Francisco wages, but my employee works in Lewiston, Idaho. I could pay him half as much, eighth as much, and he'd be happy.
Yeah, some companies are creating tier structures, right? You've got your tier 1, your tier 2, and your tier 3. Tier 1 being like your San Francisco, Seattle, New York. Your tier 2 being like a Chicago, Houston, Dallas, Austin. Tier 3 being Kansas City, Indianapolis, etc. Actually, those even might be tier 2. Tier 3, I guess, would be more like Bentonville, Arkansas, and trying to poach people from Walmart or something. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that are going to random cities that you've never heard of before, and like Cleveland, Ohio is starting to turn into a tech hub, and there's a bunch of companies randomly going to Cleveland, Ohio. Nashville, Tennessee, we've got a mass exodus of software companies, not only in the U.S. but in the U.K., where they're like, Nashville's where we're planting our flag, and it's pretty incredible seeing where companies are starting to go. Where A, they can have their office in an affordable location that's a lot of fun to attract talent, but B, still be open to the hybrid world, which is giving people a lot more options and dollars. Everyone, like right now, senior engineers are getting 7 to 20 offers because, again, when you can interview remotely, when you can hire remotely, etc., you are at the mercy of how you bring in talent.
Yeah, and in business-friendly states like Tennessee, I think is a big attraction. Leaving California, coming to much
Reduce
lower
the taxes, state
tax
income
rates.
tax. Yeah.
What about Q3? Any things you're seeing in Q3 versus your Q1, Q2, which maybe a lot of people don't care about, but the business world really does as you're making budgets and so on. Are you seeing anything as we've entered Q3 a week ago and obviously finished off Q2?
Yeah, I would say Q2 is always like in the agency world and on our side, Q2 is a pretty slow period for us. Predominantly because every time the year restarts, everybody creates their hiring plans, they create their own strategies, they have a lot of, ambitions of like doing everything internally. And Q2 is like when they're like, yes, we're going to do it ourselves, we're going to do it ourselves. And then Q3 hits. And I'll tell you what, Q3 hit hard. Like this year, we've had over like 15, 20 companies contact us in like the last 3 days trying to ask for support on recruiting because they were like, we thought we were smashing our end-year goals and we're not, and we're struggling, and it's hard, and especially since everyone's ramping up and this remote thing is a new thing, and hiring is harder than ever. It's harder than ever right now, and people are approaching the end of the year, and for us, we're just seeing a mass influx of companies that are competing, are losing, are struggling, and they're really asking for help. And honestly, we have to almost turn away customers right now because there's so many people that are struggling right now, which has been crazy in our market. So
It's a
I don't
it's
know
a
if
good
I've seen
problem for us.
for us, yeah, for sure.
But it's a bad problem for the companies that are coming to us and we're like, sorry, we just, we'd love to help, but at this point, can't. We're just overloaded with business. Again, it's a nice problem to have though. So.
Unless you're like the sexiest startup going through hyper growth and you're a unicorn, it's just not necessarily something that we can deal with right now. Like we're ramping up. We're going to hire more people. We'll do it, but we're slowly like everyone's competing, everyone's trying, and we're starting to take on retained deals just because it's something that we have to do.
Yeah. So Q3 is looking great for us. Again, we've added a few new clients in the last week. We'll add some more, but yeah, it allows us to be, I guess you could say, a little bit pickier about who we get to work with, but also allows us to make sure we give the service to the companies that we're working with and make sure that they have awesome, white glove service from us. So, well, this has been fun. I'm glad you had a great fourth. I think, as we transition out of these, summer, Memorial Day, July 4th, and this kind of hits the heat of the summer, especially down here. July will be a really, really great month for us. I know at Next Level. We can't wait to get to September 9th for our next Founders Live. We're opening up our new office again. Pop in and see us at 5200 Maryland Way, Suite 106. And if you haven't checked out our last podcast, we interviewed Kit Swain, VP of Product over at Relo Metrics. which is an awesome
Got
company.
it.
I did. I know.
I was waiting for it.
I said it wrong the last time when we interviewed him, but it was an awesome interview. He was great. I think a lot of people will really, really enjoy watching that, especially if you're intrigued by the product space in general. He was great to talk to. We will be tagging on more and more of those interviews with people from some of the large companies here in Nashville and nationwide. So be on the lookout for those. We'll be posting those on LinkedIn and Instagram and stuff. I don't know if Instagram hosts them. YouTube maybe. So
wherever marketing and
yeah, wherever Morgan and Maddie put them.
whatever
So
marketing says.
yeah, so you guys will see them if you follow us on all of our different stuff. So again, would appreciate come follow Next Level, Shane or myself on LinkedIn. Stay connected with us. If you have any questions or stuff, throw it in the comments. If you think of anyone that might be good for Founders Live to present, throw them, tag them in the comments on LinkedIn. Although the next one we're probably filled with our 5 founders. We're going to host another event in November, another one in February, and so on. And I just love talking to the different founders around here in town. Always happy to take a meeting with any of them. So just tag them in the comments section, and anyone that you think would be interested in going, tag them as well. So this was
anyone you think would be interested in being hosted on our show and just chit-chatting with us and giving advice to the world that we can talk to. Love to speak to them as well if you want to comment below.
Yep. Remember, we have roughly 80 to 100 million viewers each time. So. All right. Well, it was a lot of fun for July 9th. We are done. We are wrapping up. We will see you guys probably next week.
Next day.